Paul Antunes, ESPN Brazil. I'm very curious to get your thoughts on what happened after the game. I'm sure after you had such a great game, kind of pop star status there. Did your phone really blow up? And was this the greatest moment in your career so far?
I mean, I got a lot of messages, but I don't know. It didn't really feel that way. I mean, my family's here. Just hung out after the game, spending some quality time with family, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Was there any type of interaction with fans? I don't know if you went out after the game or.
No.
No, nothing. Just went okay. Because I would imagine if you would have gone out, it would have been probably pretty cool.
Oh no. Yeah, no. Just hanging out with family and you know.
Right side in the back.
Pascal, there's a small but passionate Cameroonian community here in Toronto that we're obviously celebrating that game last night and your performance in that game. You're kind of, I mean, you talk about how there's two countries involved, but for you, I mean, there's more than two countries involved in this. I mean, do you know much about the Cameroonian community in Toronto? Have you?
I don't know much about the community in Toronto, but I mean I know, you know, I definitely have a lot of support from my fellow Cameroonians and just Africa in general. I mean, it feels great because we always know that, you know, Canada and especially in Toronto, you know, the diversity is incredible, and you have people from different countries and you know, and all together just cheering for one team, and obviously having that support is amazing.
Second row, second row, excuse me, right side to Mark.
Pascal, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Draymond Green's been up here a few times, asked about you, and you know the way he put it, he said he's become a guy in this league. And last year, I would have never predicted that he would have done what he's done in this league. He went on to say, "I got to take him out of this series, and that's on me." First of all, can he take you out of this series? And what do you think of the fact that you are now a target as far as Draymond Green, former Defensive Player of the Year?
I think for me, just going back, you know, man, watching the film and you know, looking at ways I can get better, and you know, obviously, you know, they're gonna make adjustments, and it's definitely. I got to be ready, you know, to whatever comes at me, and I think all year that's something that I've always done, you know, kind of adjusting and getting better as the day goes on. And I think, you know, that little playoff experience and knowing that games are going to be different and things, you know, you're going to have different looks that maybe you did first game or whatever, you know. For me, it's just about adjusting.
Left side, fifth row, Doug.
Hey, Pascal, Doug Smith, the Toronto Star. Can you talk about the impact that Marc Gasol has on you when he's on the defensive end with you, and how much it allows you to roam free knowing he's there to sort of back you up?
I can't find you, Doug. But
way back here, Pascal.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
all right. Yeah, I think, you know, definitely, you know, former Defensive Player of the Year, a guy that, you know, high basketball IQ. And I think, you know, it's always sort of kind of comfort when he's on the floor with us, and he's so smart and reads the defense, and also he's able to move and kind of protect the rim for us a little bit. And you know, I think it's definitely great to have him on our team, and a guy like that, a vet that's been, you know, he's been through it, he knows, you know, a lot of things, and just talking to him, he always, you know, trying to help me be in the right position and things like that. So he's definitely helpful.
Right side, fifth row on the end.
Hey, Pascal over here, Adrian Gabriel, City TV. As you and your team have climbed into the finals, more and more fans are learning about your personal story, your journey. Wondering what you can share for a fan base, you know, about your journey, about your rise, and what has led you, you know, through adversity to the seat where you're sitting today.
I think, you know, in terms of adversity, man, like I went through something that I consider, you know, the hardest moment of my life, you know, when my dad passed away, and, you know, I was in college and just kind of like away from my family, and I mean, thank God I had the support of my teammates and coaches in college, you know, that helped me go through it. But it was definitely one of the toughest moments in my life, and not being able to go home for the funeral and all that. So it was definitely a moment where, like, you know, kind of tested me, you know, as a man, and just being able to go through that and for me, using that, you know, as a motivation and something that's going to push me to do better things and for my family and for myself, for my dad. You know, I think that was like kind of like a turning point in my life, just going through that type of adversity and you know, it kind of definitely made me the person I am today.
Left side, fifth row to Josh.
Josh Lewinberg, TSN. Pascal, after Game 2 against Milwaukee, you called that sort of a learning moment, the game you fouled out. What did you take from that game and from maybe the series as a whole going up against Giannis that has allowed you to grow as a player even on the fly here during the playoffs?
I think it's like I always say, man, like I always try, like I learn a lot, and I know I have a lot to learn, and I think that's one of the advantages for me, just not thinking that, you know, like I know I have so much to learn, I have to grow, and it allows me to look at my mistakes and evaluate them and trying to see how I can do better. Obviously, you never know. I mean, you get fouls and, you know, it's in your head and a lot of things like that. You just got to be smarter. And that's something that I try to do, you know, just being like a little smarter and learning every single night out there on the floor.
Left side, third row, Connor.
Connor Letourneau, San Francisco Chronicle. Pascal, Steve Kerr has compared you to Draymond, says he thinks you're kind of a young Draymond Green. Do you see that parallel at all? And is Draymond someone that you've kind of patterned yourself after in any way at any point in your career?
I think, you know, like I always say, man, I try to be myself as much as I can, and that's always something that I've done, and even just starting to play the game and learning about the game of basketball. Obviously, I watch a lot of different players and guys that do different things. But for the most part, man, I try to be myself and kind of work to be a better version of myself.
Final two questions in the middle on the left-hand side, Bruce.
Right here, Pascal. Bruce Arthur, Toronto Star. We've talked a lot about how in the second round you saw a lot of Joel Embiid, especially when you got in the lane, and then conference finals you saw Giannis and Brook Lopez when you got in the lane. Did you notice there was less kind of not only size but rim protection in that Golden State defense, and how much did that allow you maybe to do some different things and some of the stuff you're more used to?
I think the one thing that I noticed, you know, just I was out in transition, you know, it kind of felt like, you know, because that's always something that I've done, you know, all year, and I think that was like kind of like the first time during the playoffs where like we kind of got in transition a lot, and just I was you know, running and you know, it just felt good. But I don't know, I think just taking whatever defense gives me and whatever is there for me.
Final question, left side, second row, Mindy.
Thank you. Hi, Mindy Bach, ABC 7 Sports. Steve Kerr had said that Toronto's Raptors' speed, especially in the transition game, reminds him of his own team, of the Warriors. Do you see the similarities between the two teams?
I don't know. I can't really tell you. But I think, you know, something that we did last night that was good is transition. You know, we was out running and that was definitely good for us. In terms of similarities, I don't know.
Thank you.
No French questions? What's going on?
Not that we were able to get to today.
Come on now. Bien sûr.
J'aimerais juste savoir, Pascal, comment est-ce que tu penses que les Warriors vont tenter de s'ajuster justement à ton jeu pour le deuxième match?
Je pense que c'est une équipe comme les Warriors, ils ont gagné, ils savent ce que ça prend pour gagner, et on sait qu'ils vont revenir et essayer de faire des choses différentes et avoir plus d'énergie. Donc je pense qu'on doit être prêt pour ça en fait. Ils vont essayer, ils vont venir avec une urgence, pas comme celle du premier match, donc on doit être prêt à ça.
Merci Pascal.
Yeah, thank you for the French question.